Sunita Pereira Madam is a present president of Toastmasters Club. She has over 20 years experience as an English teacher and trainer. She taught the CBSE curriculum in high school, technical and business communication in college, and English as a foreign language, EFL, to graduate engineering trainers from East Timor. She is a life member of the ISTD Mangalore Udupi chapters and a long-standing member of Mangalore Toastmasters Club. She completed a grade 8 certificate in communication skills from Trinity College in London. And in addition to public speaking, her interests include dramatics, creative writing, desktop publishing, and music. She plays both the piano and guitar. Thank you. Over to you, Sunita Pereira, ma'am.
Thank you for that very nice introduction, Aida. And good morning, participants of YLP. I understand that some of you have bandwidth problems because you cannot switch on your video, but those of you who don't have problems, I would really like to see you. Otherwise, I will just be talking to a blank screen. So if you have the bandwidth, please switch on your videos. I would really appreciate it. So our topic for today is how to organize your speech. You already had a session on an icebreaker speech, right? And you're already doing that. Many of you have already given your speeches. You had a session on impromptu speeches, how to deal with that. So today what we are going to do is we're going to fine tune it. We're going to make it a little better. We're going to add a better way of doing it by learning how to organize a speech. So let me ask you, you can unmute yourself. If there is no noise in the background, you can unmute yourself. So let me ask you first, what do you mean by, what is your understanding of organize? And you don't have to look at the dictionary. Just tell me what you understand. What do you understand when you have to organize something? Or what do we need to do? For you, what does it mean? Anyone? Yes?
Can I say the answer?
Yes, anybody. You can, yeah. Let's just go one at a time so that we don't overlap. Yes, Aida.
It means to keep things neatly.
Yes, to put it in neatly, to put it in order. That's one thing. What about you, Hazik? What did you want to say?
Yes, to keep have a flow, to keep time organized, like not waste your time, and use it as much as you can.
Very good. Yes, so that's also another aspect of it, to keep it organized, to have a flow. See, if it's organized, then you know this comes first, this comes second, this comes third. Yes, so that works very well. Anybody else? Anyone else has an idea of what organized means for you? Anyone else? Okay, so we have got two ideas over here. You know, you keep it in order, and because it's in order, you have a flow. It connects properly. You know what to do first, second, and third. So that is what organizing a speech does. All right. So I'll share my screen, and I hope I will still be able to see all of you. Yeah, this is the disadvantage when sharing screens. So now, how to organize a speech? Let's just go down. Okay. So we've covered this part about why to organize, and these two pictures will tell you very clearly why you need to organize a speech. Okay, you're looking at the picture, you can make a look at the books which are on top and look at the books which are down. Now, if I had to find something in the books which are on top, because they are one on top of the other, I'd be able to go through it quickly and be able to find exactly what I want in the least amount of time. Yes, all right. But if my table had books like the picture down, then I would waste a lot of time finding the book I wanted and the information I wanted. Okay, so in order to be clear, so when you are giving a speech, you are talking not for yourself. Now, Tanmay, you give a very nice speech today. I hope you're there and you're listening. You give a very nice speech today, but you gave the speech for yourself. You didn't give the speech for us. When you speak, when you give a speech, it means you are talking for somebody else's benefit. You want them to understand, right? You're not just speaking for yourself. So when you give an icebreaker speech, what does it say? You're introducing yourself to someone else. So you have to organize the speech. You have to order the speech. you have to connect the speech in such a way that it makes sense to somebody else. It is logical for somebody else. It's easy for them to understand. Okay. All right. So this is why we need to organize. Before we do anything, we must understand why we are doing it. Otherwise, there's no point in doing it. Right. So the next step is, how do you go about organizing something? What will you do? Okay. So the first thing is, you have to decide on certain things. What is your topic? Now, in this case, your topic is, most of you, it's your icebreaker speech. Your topic is introduce yourself. So that is clear, no problem there. Now, the second is, what is your purpose? Your purpose is so that the other participants in your group understand something about you. They must at least know what is, something about your family, where you live, and which school and you go to, what kind of hobbies you like, and what's special about you. Yes, this is your purpose. You're introducing yourself because you want other people to understand something about you. All right. Now, who is the audience? Now, if you are introducing yourself, perhaps to the principal in your school, you wouldn't introduce yourself in the same way that you're introducing yourself here, right? Yes or no? Do you agree? Give me a thumbs up. Can I see a thumbs up? Because I cannot see the chat right now. Yes. Okay. So if you had to join your school and your principal said that, you have to introduce yourself, to me, you would probably take trouble and write something very formal and organized. Okay. But when you are introducing yourself to the YLP participants, you can be a little informal and you can try out different things, right? So now, the third step, the last step is, now that you know what's your topic, what's your purpose, who's the audience, how will you select your ideas? Trisha gave us a lot of ideas about herself. Can you unmute and tell me what, not Trisha, can you unmute and tell me what are the different things she told you about yourself? She told you a lot of ideas about herself. What did she talk about? Anybody remember? Unmute and tell me. Anyone? 1, 2, 3. What did she talk about? She told you many things that she likes. Anyone remembers? I cannot see you, so I do not know whether you are listening to me.
She said that she likes music.
Okay, she mentioned music. Anything else? Anyone else remembers? No?
She likes.
Okay, maybe we can ask Chandrasekhar and Sulata also to chip in. Do you all remember what Trisha said? She said about 5 or 6 things. I too also had to
books.
remember.
He knows
Books,
about
she mentioned books,
languages.
Yes.
She
Anything
told
else?
about 6
Music.
languages.
Yes.
Music.
Anyone else? Any other YLP participants? Okay. Chandrasekhar and Sulata remember 2 things. She mentioned food. Okay. She mentioned travel.
She mentioned about the book.
cooking. Okay. So so the thing was, she told us a lot of information, one after the other, many things, at least 6 or 7 things. So when you have to organize your speech, the first thing to do is to decide which ideas you want to include. Doesn't matter. If it's 10, can be 5, can be 12, whatever it is. First, you select all the ideas, and then the next step is to put it in order. Now, although Trisha told us a lot of ideas, you don't seem to remember many of them, do you? That's because there were quite a number of them and they were not linked. She was very clear. And because I'm going to give you a session on how to organize, I paid attention and I wrote it down. But if you were not writing it down, who was Trisha's evaluator?
Ma'am, it's me, Pratham.
Pratham, do you remember how many topics she talked about? You were the evaluator because you must have been taking some notes. How many things she mentioned? How many ideas did she mention about herself?
She talked about her hobbies. She told that she loves music.
Music, then? Okay. Now,
she told about herself.
Yes. Now, I agree. And the thing is not to try and do a test. The thing is to remember your purpose in giving a speech. Why do you have to organize your speech? So that your audience will remember what you said. Trisha told us so many things about herself. But how much do we remember? So when you talk to an audience, you have to organize because you want your audience to remember what you say. Not only when you introduce yourself or any speech that you give. Even when you give a speech in your school assembly or you give a speech at a function, you want people to remember what you said. So for that purpose, you need to organize. Are we clear about this? Okay, we should be very clear about why we need to organize. All right, now let's go to the next step. Now, to organize, how do we go about organizing? The first thing is to collect all the ideas. Okay, so you think about your hobbies, your family, your friends, whatever else you want to write. Jot it down somewhere, get all the ideas together. Now, how do we actually put it in order? There's something you can use which is called an outline. And I'm sure all of you have heard these three words. Your teachers must be telling you in school all the time when you write an essay: an introduction, a body, and conclusion. Have you heard these words? Give me a thumbs up. I can see only some of you on screen. Have you heard these words? Yes, everybody knows about introduction, body. By the time you reach middle school, everybody knows about this. Now, I've given you two ways of doing it. Either you can use it as you can organize it as a visual, as a picture, or you can organize it in writing. Some of us like the picture, some of us like the writing. So we take all the ideas and then we decide which idea we are going to put in the introduction, which idea we are going to put in the middle, and which idea we're going to put at the end. Now, obviously, you can see the introduction and the conclusion are smaller. So you can put only one idea there and one idea at the end. But in the middle, you have a little more space. So you can put at least 2 or 3 ideas. Okay. So now, if I take, for example, Tanmay's speech, I remember that you spoke mostly about badminton. Yes, Tanmay. Whereas Trisha spoke about 6 or 7 things. So the ideal would have been to think about 3 of the main things. Usually in the middle, where the body comes, we can use about 2 or 3 ideas. Okay, not more. Now you have 2 ways of doing this. One second, let me see your faces so I can talk to you. Please stay on video so I can talk to you. Otherwise, this is pointless. So there are 2 ways of doing this. Either like Trisha, you in the middle, you give me 5 or 6 ideas and you say, I like cooking because it helps to relax me and I can experiment. I like music because, I enjoy playing the piano. Either you give me 1 idea, 1 example, 1 idea, 1 example, or you choose just 2 or 3 ideas and then you explain them in greater detail, like Tanmaya did. He talked about badminton and how he got interested in and how he was able to later on, he pursued it as an interest. Okay, all right. I think I'm not going to go further unless I see you on camera. I need to see the YLP participants. Please switch on your video. It is pointless my giving the session if I can't see. Yes, okay. All right, have you understood this part? When you make an outline and you have a body, introduction, body, and conclusion, you pick your ideas. 1 idea in the beginning, 1 idea for the introduction, 1 idea at the end for the conclusion, and in the middle, that is up to you. Are you going to choose just 2 ideas and explain them a lot? Or are you going to choose maybe 3 or 4 ideas and say 1 idea, 1 example, 1 idea, 1 example? All right, okay. So this is a decision you have to make. And this is called creating an outline. Okay, so you can do it as a picture or you can do it in writing form. Now, what's the next thing to do? Now, in the middle, when you are organized, I told you in the middle, you can have 3 ideas, 4 ideas, 5 ideas, or 2 ideas. Now, we're talking about the middle. Now, how do we organize the middle? How are we going to put it in order so that people will remember what we said? All right. Now, there are 3 ways to organize. The first way, don't get confused by the big words. Okay, it's quite simple. The first one is chronological. Anyone knows what chronological means? It's according to
Time and date.
Yes, it's according to time. You would have heard that somewhere. Chronological.
It's according to timeline.
Time, yes. So when will you use a chronological order? If you're telling me a story, you'll say, oh, first this happened, and then that happened, and next this happened, and later that happened, right? You will go according to time, okay? Or if you're describing your sports event in school, if you're giving a speech about it, Again, you will say chronological. First, the chief guest came. Then we welcome the chief guest. Then we had the hoisting of the flag and so on and so forth. So this is a chronological organization, and we're talking about the middle of the speech. Now, another way to organize is by order of importance. Now, when do we do this? When we want to convince somebody. Now, for example, you want to convince your principal that you should not wear a uniform to school. Let us imagine. This is a favorite topic for students in school. Why do we have to wear a uniform? So how are we going to do that? There is no first, then, second, later. Here, what is important is how do you organize by importance? So can you give me some ideas? Can you unmute and tell me? I'm sure all of you would love not to wear uniforms to school. So can you give me 3 ideas about why you should not wear uniforms to school?
Ma'am, can I give an idea?
Yes.
Can I
You
give an
must say
idea?
your name. Listen, please say your name and then give me the idea. I don't know who I'm looking at. Yes, who's speaking?
Hazik. It's
Okay,
Hazik.
Hazik. All right, give me the first idea.
So the first idea would be to approach the principal by saying, like,
Just give me the idea, Hazik.
by
Why should you not
like-
wear? Yes.
we should not wear uniform because we do not look very cool. Like,
Okay,
we
fine.
look
All right,
neat, but we also want to look cool.
fine. Very good. Okay, we look neat, but we don't look cool. Somebody give me another idea. This is one idea. Give me another idea. Yes, President Andrea. What's your idea?
I would go against it because in our school, Gonzaga, the new uniforms were staged. We had to wear the dresses, ma'am. It felt like, when will the uniform come?
Okay, all right. No, but that's now you're giving me the opposite point of view. Now we need to go. We need, yeah. No, but this is not a debate. We are just practicing something. So you tell me why you should not wear a uniform. Okay, Hazik, give me one. Yes, Ida.
Ma'am,
What's your-
because the uniforms will get dirty.
Wait,
very
Andrea, wait. Andrea, wait 1 second. Yes, Ida.
Yes.
Uniforms, ma'am. Present in our school, we have frocks, which is not comfortable for us. So
Okay. All right, good. All right, you've got a point. So you wear frocks and the boys wear pants. Frocks are not comfortable. Everybody should wear the same. Okay, all right. All right, next. One more. Give me one more. We need at least 3. Yes,
Ma'am,
yes, Rian. Okay. Yeah.
ma'am, that whenever we are playing down and whenever we play in the sand and we get dirty and we feel suffocated and all. For us, churidar we have to wear in our school, and we get suffocated and all. So that's
Okay,
why.
all right. Okay, now we have got 3 ideas. Okay, all right. The rest of you just hold on. We're just practicing something. So one was that we don't look cool. One was it is, frocks are not comfortable. Okay, when you wear a standard uniform. And then Rian's idea was the same. She said, you feel suffocated if they say wear a churidar or whatever it is. Okay, so actually the suffocated and, not comfortable is the same. I think somebody else raised their hand. Adarsh, you had a point. Give me the point quickly. Adarsh? Yes. Adarsh, where are you? Why is everyone just disappearing?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, okay, yes. What is your point? Quickly.
Ma'am, because like uniform, it's like very uncomfortable. Like we have to wear a lot of like coats and we sweat very easily when we play.
Okay, so it's the same point. Okay, now what I'm trying to tell you is we are discussing how to organize in order of importance. Now, if you are giving a speech, which do you think is the most important idea? That you don't look cool, that it is not comfortable, or that it is not convenient? Which is the most important idea? If you have to convince, who are you going to convince? Somebody who is older than you. So what will be the most important thing for them? Which is the most important idea for them? Come on. There is no right and wrong. You just choose. We are organizing a speech. Anybody? Okay.
That is suffocating and not comfortable.
Okay, yes, you have to be practical. It's suffocating and it's not comfortable. Now, what Hazik said about not being cool, that is your point of view. The elders are not going to listen to that, isn't it? So you could start, what you do is when you organize in order of importance, you put the less important things first and the most important things last. So let's just look at the organization over here. And yeah, so if you have to build interest and you want to convince them, you will say, first of all, when we wear uniforms, all of us look the same. Okay. I wouldn't say like Hazik, we don't look cool. I would say that we don't have any identity. All the children are the same. Each of us don't have an identity. Okay. Now, more importantly, I would say a uniform, especially if it is a frock, it is not comfortable for girls. It is not convenient. Okay. And most importantly, like what Rian said, when you wear a uniform like a churidar, you feel very suffocated. It is not the best thing to wear for sports. We should have different costumes for different activities in school. Okay. So do you understand how to organize by order of importance? When you want to convince somebody, when you want to persuade somebody, you think of 3 reasons. You put the first reason, the second reason, and the third reason. And the third reason is the most important. And the last one is a spatial way of organizing. Spatial comes from the word, from which word? Space, right? Spatial comes from the word space. Okay. So now if you are describing your house to someone, or like who likes traveling? Somebody said they like traveling. I remember last time when I attended. So if you like traveling and you want to describe the most beautiful place you visited, this is the kind of organization you will use. Okay. There is no first, second, third. There is no most important, next important. It's a question of space. So if you went to a beautiful beach, how would you describe that beautiful beach? You will say, first I saw this, second I saw this, third I saw this. No, you won't. That is not an interesting way of organizing. You would also say, first I saw, the sand, and this was important. Then I saw the sea, that was more important. That also does not make sense. Yes. But if you organized it by space, you can say, as soon as we arrived, the first thing I saw was a big beach and the beautiful sea. Then you will say, maybe on the left side, there was something. On the right side, there was something. Behind me was a big road, or there was a forest, but in front of me, there was only the sea. Okay. Or if you had to describe your house, where you are sitting, the room where you are sitting, how would you describe your room? Supposing you had a speech in your class, in your English class, and you'd say, describe your room. So where will you start? Will you stand in the middle of the room and say, in my room, there's a table here, there's a window here, there's a door there. Will you go like that? No. You'll go according to how someone will see the space, isn't it? You'll say, when you enter the room, okay, you will see a room with a window on the left, a door on the right, and my bed is right in front of me. Then you will go step by step. Near the window, there are these things. Near the door, there are these things. Near my bed, there are these things. Do you understand how to organize something spatially? Okay, you organize it by space. All right. Now, let's just go to the next part. Okay, now this is a little bit more detail for you to, if you don't take down anything, I'll share this with you so that you have an idea. Okay, so now I'm just going over the same thing again. When something is chronological, you go in order of time. So when you describe an event that took place, for example, your birthday party, or you tell a story, how you met perhaps the prime minister of the country, or how you met the president of Mangalore Club. Okay, or if you want, another way we use this is when we want to describe a process. Who likes cooking over here? I remember only Twisha because she spoke today. Oh, everybody likes cooking. All right. So if we had to make an omelette, we would use the same organization. We use the same words. First, what you do, obviously, you keep all the things ready. You keep the egg, the pan, whatever it is. Okay, so some of you are vegetarian. Let's not, don't get offended. Let's make tea and coffee. Yes, you need coffee powder, you need water, you need milk. Then you secondly, you put it on the stove, you boil it. Third, you add everything. You add the coffee powder, the tea, whatever it is. And finally, you add sugar and milk and mix it up. Okay, so this kind of organization and chronology, whether you're giving a speech or whether you're giving an essay, whatever it is, you go according to time. Okay, now the second one is, the second example is, in order of importance, I just told you now. Okay, for example, if you say, what is the best hobby for young people? Or why is, for example, if I say, why is, what shall I say? What is a good hobby? Why is music the best hobby for young people? Can you give me, look at this, you have to say, you have to convince me, you have to persuade me. So can you give me 3 reasons quickly why music is a good hobby for young people? Quickly, come on.
It is a great stress buster.
Stress buster, very good. One more idea. One more idea, come on. That is Trisha, who likes music. Oh, you YLP participants. Yes. Give me one more idea. Stress buster, one more. One more. Yes. Anyone else? Yes, Trisha. Why do you like music? Why is music a good hobby? One more idea.
Yeah, it helps me relax when I'm stressed. So yeah, it's a great stress buster.
Okay, we got the same stress. Okay. We are running short of time, and I think you are all tired. So I'm just going to go through this and give it to you myself. Okay. So first, it's a stress buster. Secondly, it's something that helps you. You can try. It can give you a different career if you like. Okay. And third, it allows you to participate in different activities in school. So if I had to organize it in order of importance, first I would say that it's a stress buster. That's your personal thing. Then I would say it allows you to organize, participate in many activities in school. And third, I would say it is something that can offer you a different career option. That would be the most important reason. All right. So that's a way of organizing by importance. All right, let's go to the next one. Okay. The third way is spatially. Okay, that I've already described to you. So you could use this to describe a scene that you saw, an event that you attended. Okay. And if you look at the words of the right, these are the words that you can use to connect the ideas. And finally, now let's come to, now that you've got the ideas and you know how to organize them in 3 ways, how do you first organize those ideas before you put it in order? So one way is to just make a list. Sometimes people use those little, have you seen those little sticky notes that we use? Yeah, people can, this is another way to organize. You can write your thoughts on different sticky notes and then move it around. Okay, you decide which comes first, second, and third. And sometimes people also use what is called a mind map. I'll show you one at the end. I don't know. Have you heard of a mind map? Do you know what is a mind map?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay, fine. I'm sure you're using it in schools. You use it for studying. You use it for learning, for remembering. It's a very good tool for organizing. All right. So this is one way. The second thing, the first one is to gather the ideas all together. The second way is to remember that you have to link your ideas. You remember somebody said there must be a form, there must be a flow. So you have to link the ideas. And how are you going to link them? In the 3 ways I told you just now. According to chronology, remember the words I gave you, first, second, third. You can organize it according to importance. What is the first idea which is important, the second idea, and the most important idea. And lastly, you can organize it according to space. On the left, on the right, in front of me. All right. Now, finally, that brings you to the conclusion. Okay. When you organize a speech, your conclusion must summarize everything that you have said in your speech. So, for example, Trisha could have said at the end of her speech, because she had 7 or 8 ideas, to help us remember, she could have said, so I am a person who has different interests in food, in cooking, in music, in books, or whatever. She could have mentioned all of them again and said, that is why I am such an extrovert, and that is why I like to meet so many people. Then the chances of remembering what she said would have been greater. Okay. You can also give a quotation. I think she ended with a quotation. You could also do that. But remember, if you summarize what you said, that is better. Okay. All right. And last of all, sometimes it's very hard to choose an introduction. So when you organize a speech, sometimes the easiest thing to do is first write the speech. First organize the ideas. The ideas will help you to conclude. And once you have done the conclusion, then think of an introduction that will catch somebody's attention. I think both Harzik and Neil used a kind of a question today when they started. Neil asked something. He asked a question, I remember. I didn't write it down, but he asked a question which immediately caught my attention. Even Harzik made a statement about where he was born, or how he was born. So that caught my attention. So you can ask a question, or perhaps you can say, today is the most boring day of my life. And then people will immediately pay attention because they want to know why, right? Or you can even, I have attended a speech by one of our Toastmasters who had two mugs in her hand. She had a black mug and she had a white mug. And she gave a speech about what was positive about her and what was negative. So when she was talking about the positive thing, she held the white mug up. And when she talked about the negative thing, she held the black mug up. So this also makes an impact. Okay. All right. So we won't go to a checklist because you're getting tired. I'll quickly show you a mind map so that you can. Yeah, it's over there. Just hold on. Yeah. Can you see the mind map on screen? Can somebody give me a thumbs up, please? Since most of you are off screen, at least give me a thumbs up. Oh my God, you're asleep. Yes, thank you, Jian. Okay, so this is an icebreaker mind map. So if you're talking, since the topic is icebreaker, we'll use the same thing. I've done this in, what is it called? Google Drawings. Very easy to do. So if you're talking about myself, come on, tell me now, at least unmute if you can't put on. What are the things you will say about yourself? Maybe you talk about your family, right? What else would you talk about? Tell me.
Friends.
Come on. Friends, yes. What else? You can see it on screen. What else? Then?
School.
Sorry? School, yes. Okay. Then what else? What else? How about hobbies? We've not used hobbies, right? Hobbies, okay. Anything else? Maybe about your siblings. If you haven't, you could say parents, or you can say grandparents, maybe.
Age.
Okay, yeah. Okay, and my spelling is going all wrong. And okay, all right. I just to get you the idea. All right, maybe your age. Yeah, okay. So you get the idea. Now, what would happen is first you get the ideas like this. You want to talk about yourself. What are the things you want to say? Your family, your friends, your school, your hobbies, your grandparents, whatever it is. And then for each thing, you add one thing. If you talk about your family, what will you say? Okay, my family is a nuclear family. For example, it's just my parents and me. This is what Visha would say probably. Okay. What about your friends? I've got plenty of friends, both in my school and in my building where I stay. Then you talk about your school, which school you're going to, where the school is located, whether it's CBSE, etc., whatever it is. So you can add more details to it, right? Now, using that mind map, you will be able to, one last thing, and then I will release you. So using the mind map, then you can make an outline, which will look like this. Okay. So you do the introduction last. What you will talk about. So idea one will be, what will idea one be? Idea one will be family. And then you can give one example or one story or one event, something about your family. Idea two may be about your school. And this is what your outline, this is how you will work out an outline. So since your speech is about 2 minutes, for every minute you speak, you can speak only about 150 words at the rate you're speaking. So that's about 300 words. So you decide, okay, if you divide 300 words into 5 parts, one introduction, one conclusion, and 3 ideas in the middle, you will have about 40 words in the introduction, 75 words for each idea, and then 40 words at the conclusion. Okay. So what are the things that you remember? Let's conclude now and let's see how much you remember. So when you organize a speech, what are the first things you do before you actually start writing or getting ideas? What do you need to know? You need to know your, come on, unmute. For 5 seconds, nothing will happen to your bandwidth. What will you need? You need to decide what is your topic. Yes. What is your purpose? Who are you going to talk to? Yes. And then you collect your ideas. When you collect your ideas, how are you going to organize them? You can organize them in 3 ways, either according to time, chronologically, or you can order them according to importance. And then finally, you can organize them according to space, right? Then you write a conclusion, which should summarize or help people remember. And last, you can go to the introduction and decide on something that really catches people's attention, right? Okay, so that's it for today. I hope what we have done about organizing your speech will help you to write better speeches, better essays, and make better presentations. Thank you. Over to you, Chandra.